Hello there! I'm going to keep this intro nice and short, but essentially, I've devised 5 simple ways for anyone to get better at bridge, regardless of their skill level. I myself am currently top 200 for solo bridge wins, so I feel I'm at least slightly validated to give advice like this. Anyway, without further ado, here's the video. One of the best things you can do to improve at bridge is to copy other and preferably better people. Experienced bridge players have all kinds of strats and techniques, and so by simply watching bridge players play the game, you can get an idea of some more advanced strategies. Such players could include Cheetah or Buckybar, Speedtold or Kra, or even myself if you're really that desperate. Also, experiment with your own techniques. If you ever face someone who has literally zero clue what they're doing, and people like that do exist, trust me, try some new stuff, and if it works, continue to use it. My next tip is something I actually need to do myself. Play smart, not fast. Bridge is a fast-paced game, and you generally get tricked into making split-second decisions, which, for most players, is incredibly difficult. Therefore, take time to think about what you can do. Be aware of potential bypasses or quicker routes you can take. But remember not to let your opponents score in the meantime, that's a pretty important thing. Another way to get better at bridge is to be able to manipulate your keyboard and mouse to their fullest potential. That sounded way too nerdy. I mean, hotkeys, clicking fast, strafing, and W tapping, the works, you know? Hotkeys are vital to be able to switch between your 5 items as quickly as possible, so set up hotkeys and familiarise yourself with them. Clicking fast actually helps you take less knockback, and being able to place blocks incredibly quickly is a major advantage in such a block-based game mode. And PvP techniques, especially W tapping, are super useful for being able to kill your opponent in bridge. Practicing techniques is also incredibly useful, and there are several servers dedicated to bridge practice, but the one I prefer and use the most is bridgepractice.net. On there you can practice bypasses and pre-bows and wings, and you can even fight a bot in bridge. Mastering techniques is one of the most important things you can do to get better at the game. And finally, the most important tip. Literally just play the game. I know it's what everyone says, but the most effective way to get better at anything is to do it over and over again. And this most certainly includes bridge. If you compare how I play now at Bridge Grandmaster 2 to how I played a year ago when I was barely even Bridge Diamond, there is an incredibly noticeable difference. So, with that, I hope I've helped you, and I hope you take my advice into consideration. So, if you enjoyed, please leave a like, and if for whatever reason you loved it even more than that, make sure to subscribe. But I think that's about everything, so yeah, thanks for watching, bye!